Hello viewers, this is Master Kim and I will be showing you my Airsoft WinGun Mosin-Nagant M44 Carbine setup and doing a partial disassembly. Like many of the WinGun airsoft guns, this model has a fixed hop-up and you will see in the firing demonstrations that the shots go high. Hence, to use this effectively, you must know how much lower you have to aim to compensate for the hop-up, and that may vary depending on the weight of the BBs you choose to use. I use .20 gram BBs because that's what I had on hand. Despite this difficulty, it is quite accurate for an airsoft gun. Unlike the King Arms model, this one uses CO2 as a propellant and fires with projectile velocities of nearly 500 FPS. This Mosin-Nagant has a straight bolt, so it may be impractical to attach a PU scope. For my setup, I use a scout scope from the 5-piece AIM Sports Mosin-Nagant kit. However, the rail included in the kit does not align well, and I use different rings mentioned later in the video that attach straight onto the dovetail. My setup applies Finnish sniper Simo Häyhä's philosophy that the lowest possible profile is best. Häyhä actually chose to use iron sights so that adversaries could not spot him. In my scoped setup, the scope is very close to the gun, so I don't have to lift my head very high to use the scope. You might also see that my scope is attached wrong. I turn the scope sideways so that the adjustment knobs do not stick up and increase my profile. This also allows me to attach a small GoPro on top of the scope for basic recording without the need for gigantic mounts. For this gun, how you remove the magazine is you look at the bottom of the gun and you see this black component. You pull the spring right here and the magazine pops out, then you can remove it. How you put the CO2 in and how to take it out is using the tool provided inside the magazine. It is like an Allen key. You put it in the back and you turn it and you can put the CO2 in and you can take it out. How to load the BBs is You just pull back the spring here and you load the BBs through the front. Now we'll replace the magazine and look at my scope attachments. First, this is my GoPro casing. I use a GoPro Hero 2 to record my shooting videos. This is a GoPro helmet mount that I used. I strapped it underneath the scope, and when tightened, it works okay. So here, I will show you how to take it off. Here is a screw to take the GoPro casing off. So first I will unscrew the screw and then remove this, and then remove this casing, and I will have access to the other part of the GoPro helmet mount. So here's the helmet mount that I have removed. This is my scope. It is made by AIM, and it is a scout scope, a long eye relief scope, and these rings are from Lirisy. They're 1-inch rings with 11mm dovetail. I'll just use an Allen wrench to remove it. So there are 2 rings. I actually put 2 of the mounts together for more stability on the scope, because if I put them on either side of the scope, they will not fit on the dovetail because it is too short. But this suffices, and it's on pretty stable. So here you can see how to remove the top part of the mount. It has sticky tape on it, and so it may be hard to remove. But you remove the other one in a similar fashion, and you can replace the scope or adjust the positioning of the scope on the mount. Now, here are 2 screws each, and when you remove them, you can remove the scope rings from the dovetail that is built into the gun. Here is the first ring. It has fallen off. Now we will remove the second scope ring. These rings do not require a rail. They attach right onto the dovetail, and they work pretty well. Now here is the dovetail that is included with the gun. As you can see, it's not very long. There was a sight on this gun, but I removed the rear sight using these pin punch tools. As you can see, there are holes right here. There's 2 holes, and you simply take a pin punch tool and a hammer, and you punch out the pins. You can see that they fit right through here. This is the smallest size. This is 1/16 of an inch. This is the size that you use for the to punch out the pins. So here is a bolt assembly. To remove the bolt, you simply rack it back, pull the trigger, and while holding the trigger, you pull the bolt out. And now you can see the bolt. And you see there's a screw right here. If you want to remove this from the stock, you will have to unscrew this. In the front, we have our bayonet. In order to see the rest of the gun, I will extend the bayonet first. The front of the bayonet goes over the orange tip, and now you can see the front of the gun. To take the gun apart further, we will have to remove the sling. So first we will remove the sling. You see the two rings here? To pull out the rings, you simply push down on the spring and pull the rings out. Once you pull the rings out, you can remove the top cover, which reveals your barrel and the top part of the gun. I will not be removing any other components today, but I will show you that there is a screw right here and a screw right here if you want to remove other components of the gun further. Thank you for watching, and tune in for more airsoft videos.